Welcome back to my YouTube channel and to a hotel room in Baltimore. I am here this week to work on someone else's model railroad. I have not seen the layout. I have not even seen pictures of it, so I really don't know what to expect when I get around there. The only thing I know about it is that it is in HO scale and that the customer wants some scenery built. Although even there, I don't even know what kind of scenery he wants. So it's going to be a bit of a surprise for me when I get round there. Let's head over there now and take a look. This is the layout as we arrive. All the benchwork and track is in, and there are a few areas where there is some scenery, or the start of some scenery, most of which the customer is not happy with. This is the first day that we've ever seen this layout. Didn't really know what to expect when we got here.
Yeah. Am I using his glue and all that stuff too, and water? And
yes, glue
bottles.
Yeah.
We have some track issues to sort out before we start. You have to excuse the background noise.
Oh, I don't know. You might have something up there we can use.
This grade around here is not even, it's way too steep, so we're going to have to lower some of the risers in here. So I'm going to cut this base scenery away, get rid of it, so that I can drop this area here and even up the track.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll go to Walmart to that. Okay.
Well, here is the layout after one day's progress. It's a bit of a mess because we're trying to make maximum progress rather than cleaning up afterwards. In this area here that I've been working on, I've got about 20 something feet of fascia in. Before I did that, I had to completely redo this grade around here. It's now a nice even 2% instead of a short sharp 4%.
Week after he signs the contract.
You're not going to change that number, right? No.
I had a bump to fix here as well.
Not me. Somebody want to dump that trash can in here so we got one.
Well, here we are after 2 days progress. Orlando's been working in this area. Not quite sure what he's up to yet. Yesterday I got most of this area roughed in with the landscaping blocks. Not quite sure. This area isn't quite ready for carving yet. And the culvert at the back is going to have to be a little bit lower because I didn't realise there was going to be 1.5 inches of plywood under the track. Here I've cut this out. There's going to be an arched bridge. I'm in the middle of making that out of a pair of tunnel portals which I've cut down and filled in the middle. We have the owner's big boy here to test clearances. I still have the other side of this river valley to build up. Hopefully there'll be a lot more to see tomorrow. Well, I've now been on this project for 3 days. Most of the rough landforms are taking shape in this area. I haven't measured it, but I think it's an area about 6 feet by 12 that I'm working on right now. That's just a rough guess. From the top of this hill here, down through the river valley, back up again, around the corner where the Woodland Scenics products are, the ready rocks and the plaster cloth. I still got to get a culvert in there. Tunnel in. This one here I'm still working on. That's the last portal I have, so the other end I think I'm going to make it a natural rock bore. And then I'm using a few of the ready rocks in this area where they just fit nicely. Got 2 more to glue in. I only put those 2 in because one of the other guys had a little bit of sculptor mold left over yesterday. And then come all the way out to here. A small cut that the track runs through. And this is probably about as far as I will get this trip. I think it is Wednesday today. It's definitely day 5 of the project. So what you see here is 4 days work. I got all the plaster cloth on yesterday. I got a good start on the rock carving and casting. Started at this end, did this cut, this outcrop, the main cliff, or most of it anyway, and a couple more cuts on this side. I got all the track painted. I have to scrape the rails and then remask it and then continue. Not quite sure how far I'll get today. I'd like to finish the rock carving. This is about halfway through our trip. Things are starting to take shape. Not just in the area I've been working on, but the other guys as well seem to be getting a handle on their stuff. Most of the rock carving is in place. Still have a little bit over by the culvert and around the back of that bridge there. And I still have both sides of the river valley to do. Well, I'm now about halfway through day 6 and all the plaster work is done in this area, all the way around here and on the back side of that mountain, which you can't see right now. All the way around as far as here. This is where I started. And the next thing to do is to get the initial wash colours on. I'm going to start with a very thin black wash and then a burnt umber wash, and then I have to leave it overnight for it to dry before I come back with the dry brushes. So let me sign out now and get back to work. Well, this is the railroad at the start of day 7. Because of the cramped nature of this back aisle, James didn't work yesterday afternoon. He went back to the hotel and then he came in the evening and he did a little bit more here. All the darker brown is his. This area along the side of this aisle I did yesterday because the black paint I had was actually purple. So while I was waiting for new paint, I started on the sculpture mold. Got this far. Today I have to finish the sculptor mold and get all the dry brushing on the rocks, and then ground cover, and then all sorts of stuff. So it's going to be a busy day. I'll check in with you again later. Okay, it is Saturday morning. I think this is day 8. Not quite sure when we started. But I've still got a lot to do and only a couple of days to do it in. Yesterday I got all the ground cover down. The rock, I didn't get the dry brushing on the rocks because the washes from the previous night were still dry, were still wet, and I well, this area that I have been working on is now about as finished as I can get it. We ran out of trees. We ran out of 4 colours long before the end. They only go about halfway down. We've got plenty of these cheap, crappy eBay trees, but the decent ones we've got nowhere near enough. This whole area here doesn't have anything on it yet. Anyway, the customer is very happy with the way it looks out, and his wife was absolutely ecstatic when she came down here. She couldn't get over how beautiful she said it looked. I do have one slightly worrying issue right now. The bubbles haven't yet stopped coming up through the water. I hope that doesn't mean that it's finding its way down. I hope they stop coming up soon. Well, that's all we have time for on this trip. We've been at it for 9 days, and I think the progress has been reasonably good. We managed to get quite a lot done. We had a few problems to contend with. There really wasn't enough space down there to move, not with 4 of us in the room at one time. We had humidity problems. The paint and the glue wasn't drying in time, but it turned out the customer had a dehumidifier sitting in his back room, so we just set that up and then the problem was solved. And we didn't have anywhere near enough trees, and most of those we had were a little on the small side. But other than that, things went really well. I'll be checking out of the hotel in a few minutes. I've got to get packed up quickly. So that's all for this video. Hope you've enjoyed it, found it useful or interesting, and I hope to see you again next week. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.